Ladies and gents, boys and girls, is it up and up only again? Well, guys, we're going to be figuring that out in this video, and I'm going to be talking about some of the key crypto assets which do have a good looking structure. And, guys, most of the direction is being decided by Bitcoin. So, without any ado, let's jump on the first chart. We have Bitcoin, and just to give a little follow up from yesterday's analysis, I was talking about how this area was quite significant. The 37,000 ranges were a significant zone of potential liquidity entering the markets back again into Bitcoin. And, guys, well, this is the only asset which is going to set your major trending direction for the rest of the month. Whatever Bitcoin does, most of the charts and most of the market structure on various altcoins are going to look exactly like that. So, guys, what we had right here was a simple retest and a sweep of the lows right here, standing at $36,000 levels, and we got picked up. Right now, we are challenging this sell block again, guys. We are back again at the sell block, which calls for a small time frame concern. Now, I think that this one, it looks to me like, yeah, you want to break above this channel right here, and your measured move and your targeted moves from this breakout would be somewhere alongside the $45,000 levels, and that is where you would have yet another sell block sitting in at these levels, guys. Now, step by step, everything has to be taken step by step, right? Once you clear these levels, then you can be looking at this liquid zone, guys, the volume indicator telling everything particularly. Right now, what particularly is happening right here is the fact that we are leaving this high volume range, guys. Now, this is good news. This is simply good news for Bitcoin. Now, had we lost this one to the downside and constantly confirmed various 4 lakh approaches below $37,000, $36,000 levels, we could have been rejecting this entire volume node to the downside. But it looks to me like, no, man, you want to just slip your trend and waste the upside, whereas your small time frames trend could be confirmed, could be confirming yet another bullish move coming in by the end of this week itself, when we do have this moving averages crossing each other, guys. Now, we do have a potential cross happening pretty soon. Your 55 simple is start curling to the upside, which means that yes, you are strengthful off of the lows, guys. You are strengthful off of the $30K levels on BTC, which means that, guys, the volume will make the price action flow towards these points and these points in the coming days. Right now, for today, I do not want to see any closure below 21 simple again. Now, am I the dictator? Am I going to dictate what Bitcoin does? No, man. I'm just simply going to follow the price action, and I'm just going to look at the key levels, guys. The key level is this particular sell block right here. Once you get rid of this one, holy crap, I don't think you're going to be stopping all the way towards 45K, and that would lead to yet another up and up mode only for most of the crypto assets, guys. So let's jump on to the next analysis. We have swipe, guys. Swipe. Now, this one trends alongside Bitcoin, guys. This one has a positive correlation coefficient with Bitcoin itself, which is why whenever Bitcoin is taking any up leg, swipe generally does the same thing. Now, in this particular analysis, we are looking at a bearish retracements, guys. Remember, we are in a macro bear now. The tides have turned, right? Which is why any retracement to the upside, even to the major levels, is going to be a sell in the first and the foremost pass, guys. Then we can evaluate what comes next if we do take this all-time high back again at the $5.5 levels. Until then, this entire zone is going to be a simple bearish retracement. Your first target on swipe is going to be somewhere around $3.125 levels, and your next target is simply going to be hovering around $4.125 levels, guys. Now, you do have a volume vortex after this point right here. After $4 levels, you have a volume vortex happening between all the way towards $5 levels, guys, which is why you can have a upthrust once Bitcoin. Well, I do feel that these ranges above $4 levels on swipe is going to be aligning with Bitcoin's $45,000 ranges. So, if Bitcoin really tries to close candles above 45,000, if it wants to have a momentous break out of the $45,000 levels, swipe will follow through. Swipe $4 levels is quite similar to that range, and that will take the price action for swipe all the way towards, let's just say, $5, guys, happening somewhere around the deep retracement, standing in at 886. Now, guys, there are two kind of deep retracements in any bearish retracement. The most interesting and what Ethereum generally does is retesting the 882 retesting the 0.86. Now, this is very significant as to your general altcoin market maker. Ethereum is doing something like that, which is why most of the altcoins are going to follow this structure. Whereas, guys, there are the second deep retracement happen around the 786 right here. Why don't I have it on? Right. All right. So 786 is standing in at this exact volume node, coming around somewhere alongside the $4.85 levels on swipe. Right now, guys, that is a far-fetched opinion as of now. You want to see 4-hour candles and your 12-hour trend setting above this point, guys. Now, this huge sell block is exactly what you are dealing with $42,000 levels on Bitcoin itself. Once you see that happen on Bitcoin, Swipe will take a swipe to the upside and it'll just simply free float all the way towards $3.2 levels, guys, in the first and foremost pass, because this was the last rejection high, the lower high, which is quite deviated from the previous lower high, guys, which is why after this high right here, you could be looking at a free floating piece of price action happening on Swipe itself, testing some key moving average on the 4-hour time frame, guys. The 200 simple on the 4-hour is inclined to the downside with aggressiveness coming in at exactly $3.8 levels, guys. After that, we can talk about this volume vortex coming into play, and after that, we can talk about the deep retracements coming into play in the coming weeks as well. Until then, guys, this is the main area which you want to be having a focus on. Right now, where is your risk management going to be, guys? You know the deal. What the hell kind of a breakout is a breakout which gives you 2 attempts to buy, guys? Now, if this area has to be a breakout, if this entire liquid zone has to be a real breakout, this one has to act as a support. Now, I mean, look, even if the price hovers around alongside this range right here, you should not be breaking below this again. Now, let's just assume if you do break below this one, guys, this is going to be your ultimate exit. This is going to be our ultimate, aligning perfectly with the high vol, the end of the high volume node right here. This is going to be your major stop loss. Now, of course, this is not a fucking financial advice. It can't be a financial advice. You are supposed to make your own decisions, guys, and it's very clear. The levels on Swipe are pretty clear as well. You did break above $2.215 levels, which was your significant resistance point, and this is your major resistance point. Once you are above that, sweet. Well, alright, guys, let's jump on to the next analysis. We have BNB bouncing off of like a beauty, coming in at 200. Moving average on the daily time frame itself, guys, quite significant piece of price action bounce coming from the $200 levels of BNB, which is currently wanting to test the 0.382 extension out of this entire bearish structure, guys. We are dealing with another bearish leg. Now, this is crazy bearish, man. Holy crap, this is a blow off top again. Exactly what happened in Ethereum. Exactly, we are looking at the same thing on BNB itself. Now, you do have a very bear cross happening out of these moving averages, guys, on the daily time frame, which calls for a little concern in the trend itself. But your 200 simple on the daily is inclined to the upside with strength. It's still inclined to the upside with strength. Now, that is impressive as fuck, man. I mean, look, you had this massive rejection which hardly did anything to the moving average right here, right? Which is why, guys, these volatile moves can happen to the downside really quick, and your retracements can go to the upside as well pretty soon, guys, because the macro structure, the macro strength is unshaken. The macro strength on BNB against USD is completely fine, guys. Completely fine. You can look at it right here, right? All right. So this daily candle currently looking quite promising. Now, what do I particularly want to see in today's closure on BNB USD is this area right here, guys. You want to take this one out to the upside, basically aligning with your $400 levels to the T, guys, to the T. Now, can we overextend ourselves all the way towards 420? Maybe, guys, maybe. You know the logic, guys. These numbers in crypto markets, 420, 42, 69, these numbers, they do play out. They do fucking play out. Now, it's just a meme, it's just a joke, but they do play out. That's the fucking reality of these markets. It's just immature in some ways, but it's fun, guys. It's simply fun, right? So today, particularly, we could be looking at BNB touching $420, and after that, once we start formulating base above these two straight candle closures, bearishly rejecting these price points at $400 levels, then we can talk about some further extension, guys. So the first and the foremost extension standing in at the high volume node at $510 levels. Ultimate rejection, guys. This was the capitulation move which happened on BNB, which pulled the price action down all the way towards $200, guys. This is the main area of rejection, which is going to be the main focus out of this entire bearish retracement, right? Now, you don't really have a lot of volume on these levels, guys, which is why, yes, there is another volume vortex situation happening on these price points as well. Now, if I simply jump onto the logarithmic value, I think this could be clearing out a little more stuff for you guys. Let me just get rid of that one. Okay. All right, back again to the high volume nodes. This is what I'm talking about, guys. After this price point right here at $400, you have a volume, let's just say lackluster volume, guys, which is why prices can be really volatile. No. Okay. Now, it's not necessary that we just simply shoot to the upside when the volume is low, guys. It simply means that it can be really volatile. It can be really choppy as well, because these levels have not been traded much, guys. You went to the upside and straight down, guys. Straight up, straight down, right? Now, whenever these kind of situations happen in any asset, your ranges onto these price points are going to be really volatile, guys. Whatever can happen. Anything can happen on these price points, but whatever happens, you have to have a plan and objective, and you do have to have a targets, guys. You do have to have a target on the BNB price action itself, right? Now you're dealing with the 600 extension standing at 510. Once we start trending above that one, the deep retracement is on the card, standing in at $600, guys. Now I feel that the $600 levels on BNB is going to be a major resistance, guys. A major resistance. Let me just train again. Major resistance on BNB, guys, on $600 levels, because it was a massive bearish rejection happening on the weekly time frame itself. Any bounce is going to be most likely a sell in the macro, guys. It's going to be a sell in the macro. Now what can actually turn the tables around is the fact that the BTC pair of BNB, let me just take a look at that as well. BNB against BTC, that can shake out a lot of things, guys. This one was not that violent as compared to the USD pair itself, which means that the altcoins are simply strengthful against BTC, guys. And well, to be honest with you, BTC will set your trend. BTC will give you a little directional bias, but it's not necessary to go long on BTC or something like that, because the dominance is completely shattered, guys. The fucking dominance is standing at 40 or something like that, which is why these altcoins are certainly going to be strengthful as simply compared to Bitcoin. Now, why do I talk about the BTC price actions right here, guys? Well, you do have a reason. It's Bitcoin dominance shattering season, right? Which is why the USD price action is going to be certainly dependent on the BTC price action, guys. The BTC price action will be significant for BNB itself. Now, what could potentially happen right here? We could simply avert this bearish cross, guys. Now, that would be good news. That would be real strength coming in at BNB as well. That would be crazy. I would be really happy to see that happening, guys. If we start closing few candles above this price point right here and we avert this bearish cross, you know what, guys? The retracement will have a little continuation move beyond the all-time highs, standing in at 1.272 and 1.618, guys, right here at 0.015, basically 1.5 million satoshis per BNB. Now, here's what can happen. BNB against USD can go all the way towards the previous all-time high, standing at somewhere near $650, and it can break above the all-time highs on the BTC pair, guys, on the BTC pair. Now, if you simply compare the down move which happened on BTC pair was a 43% down move, whereas BNB against USDT on the on Binance had a breakdown for all the way about 70%, guys. This one was accelerated because of BTC, nothing else. This is exactly what happened, right? Bouncing off of the 200 simple on the USD pair, guys. BNB looking strengthful, guys. BNB looking way more strengthful than Ethereum itself. Now that's crazy, guys. That's crazy. Ethereum has a lot of innovation going on these days, with Uniswap version 3 launching out and so many other developments happening on the protocol itself, guys. Mark fucking Cuban buying Matic. Holy crap, man. Mark Cuban, one of the guys that I really look up to in my life. Mark fucking Cuban for you, putting in a huge chunk of his stake into Matic network. Holy crap, salute to the Matic team, man. Sandeep, oh man, crazy. You guys are, you people are just shattering beyond expectations. You going to the moon, guys. Holy crap, good news. Round of applause for Matic, man. Holy crap, pretty nice thing to even think of, right? Now, coming back to the point again, guys, once you start taking this one, yes, your targets onto these high level volume nodes are looking pretty clear, guys. You can simply transport your way to the upside like that, right? Alright, guys, now next up we have Cake, guys. Ever since this bearish cross right here, you had a massive sell-off rejection coming in at the lows. Shit, man, this was damned. Cake was damned and doomed, man. Holy crap. Which is why this is going to be an ultimate bearish retracement. Even if Cake comes all the way towards 32, it's going to be a major sell. It's going to be a big sell, guys. I think to recover from these price points would be a miracle. Would be something that BNB and Binance Smart Chain ecosystem, I don't know, they could pull some strings and CZ could do some freaking magic and this could go to the moon back again. But guys, this is crazy down move on Cake, man. Holy crap, 80%, 70%. It's bad. Just sweeping the lows again, I mean, not good. I mean, it's not showing a lot of strength, man, on the price action itself now, which is why this piece of area right here, the price action happening on $20.2 levels on Cake is a resistance, guys. A significant resistance right here, allowing to the 21 simple on the 12-hour time frame, guys. Now, remember, your down move on Cake, your entire downtrend, man, the main breakdown area happened alongside the 21 simple on the 12-hour time frame itself, which is why it's going to be very significant significant to flip this one out to the upside, right? Once you start trending above this moving average on the 12-hour time frame, yes, your upside targets towards these points and these points are going to be looking very nice. Now, guys, on your Fibonacci retracements, there are 0.5 levels as well, which is going to be a center point between the 1 and 0 extension right here. I simply don't use that, guys. I feel if we are pushing through the 0.382, 618 is on the cards 80 to 85% of the times, guys. This is what happens. This is my personal observation in the market itself, which is why once you start ticking above $23 levels on cake, you can talk about cake going all the way towards 32, which is going to be a major sell in the first and the foremost pass, guys. Now I think it's going to be very choppy until you see these major moving averages coming back down again, going for that bullish cross, and then we can evaluate further bounce on cake, and then we can talk about FOMO on cake, guys. Holy crap, this one is down 80%. I mean, this is a pure piece of, this is garbage, guys. This price action is pure garbage, man. I simply trade my technical analysis. I don't trade these assets, and I don't trade my opinions and emotions as well. If I start doing that, I'll be wrecked. I'll be just wiped out of the market. And if I just simply look at the price action structure, it's bearish as fuck, man. All right, once you start averting this moving average right here, once you start averting this resistance as well, once you start basically trending above $20, then you can talk about something. Then you can, all right, then maybe cake could look better, I guess, and taste more delicious, I guess. All right, guys. All right. Now next up we have Celsius. Now this is blowing my mind, guys. Most of the market, let's just say entire crypto market was down 80%. Was just, guys, Bitcoin wiping off 65% of the cards. Celsius didn't do shit about the structure, man. Holy crap. Now, Celsius network is looking strong, guys. This is crazy piece of price action. The entire market shook off, whereas this was a simple retest of the 21 simple moving average on on the weekly time frame, rejecting any price point below the 21 simple. Guys, this is what you wanted to look at on Bitcoin as well, but you quite didn't get it, right? Now, this is exactly what is happening on Celsius network. Now, crazy piece of price action, guys. As far as your trend is simply sustaining above the 21 simple moving average, this is a long call. This is a crazy long call. This is basically a hedge against a lot of crypto assets out there, man. Holy crap. A simple good looking hedge against Pancake Swap, as we just saw, man. Pancake Swap just simply went to the ground, whereas Celsius, just look at this piece of price action, man. This is crazy piece of price action. Your trend is crazily bullish, man. Okay. Now, in the coming days, you could be looking at a Cardano style breakout on Celsius itself. Now, guys, what we saw on Cardano was a pop off the top, and then we got back again to these price points, and we're doing something like this. Something like that could happen to Celsius as well. Now, your upside targets on Celsius could be determined by your simple Fibonacci retracement, sweeping the highs and the lows right here, testing the 1.272 extension, but your ultimate target is sitting in at 2.618, guys. I think, yes, you would be looking at a little bot or algo driven sell-offs coming in at Celsius network token. Now, this one is listed on FTX, and guys, if you want to long the futures of Celsius network token, FTX has June contracts which has no funding at all. Basically, you can just simply long this asset on FTX without paying any funding per hour or something like that, per 8 hours, where Binance is charging you like I don't know some crazy gazillion amount of percentage for any price any position that you take in the market, right? Whereas longing Celsius is not as expensive, guys. Get wrecked responsibly. Get wrecked responsibly. All right, guys, you have to manage your risk. Now, this one being a little macro structure right here, which is why your risk management will certainly stay in the macro. I will not be talking about the small time frames on Celsius, guys. This is a crazy macro trend. Holy shit, this is good looking piece of price action on the weekly time frame itself. Your risk management is going to be here, and it is not going to be a week or a 4-hour or a 12-hour closure. It's going to be a weekly closure straight off. It's simply going to be a weekly close. Once we start looking at weekly closing below the 21 simple moving average, guys, that is when Celsius network's trend gets into jeopardy. Until then, look at this beautiful piece of price action coming in at 10 cents. Coming in at 10 cents. You started trending to the upside and you're still trending, guys. This is a huge opportunity. This entire accumulation range is a huge opportunity on Celsius if this one has to follow through, right? Now, once you start taking above the 2.61 extension, guys, the ultimate target will stand at 10.764. Holy crap. Talk about some bullish hopium in this shit fucking looking piece of market right now. Guys, most of the assets are looking like complete shit, whereas this one is just this one is going to turn around a lot of heads, man. And well, I'm going to leave the links to some key data on Celsius Network Token down in the description that you can check out for yourself and figure out where the bids and where the asks are happening and what potential could happen in the coming days as far as the market dynamics and the market mechanics goes, guys. Okay, now just simply checking out the momentum oscillators on this one, guys. This is a simple reaccumulation alongside the 60. Now this is going to be yet another indicator to fuck off from Celsius market once you start losing 60 on the weekly, guys. 4 attempts to break below 60, but the market still being strengthful onto these levels. This is crazy strength. Once you start trending below 60, that is when your trend gets into jeopardy, guys. Pretty clear coming in at the relative strength index. Okay, RSI signaling, well, it's just a continuation follow through to the upside, right? Now, just for a little curiosity, I'm going to be jumping on the daily time frame, not lower than that, guys, not below that. Daily time frame, oh, holy crap. Now, okay, all right, now this is quite choppy, to be honest with you. All right, I'm charting this one out on HIT BTC, which is calculated against the BTC pair itself. It is not the USD trading which is happening on HIT BTC, guys. This is a simple calculation which is based off of the BTC pair, right? Which is why this is really freaking volatile on these price points. And well, yet another structural support happening in the 200, guys. Now, the 200 structural support on daily time frame is something which is happening on BNB as well, and the assets are getting picked up very nicely if you are getting supported from the 200 simple. Okay, guys, one more thing. Now, if the bull trend, okay, now I personally feel, now there are a lot of traders who think that the bull cycle is still going on and the bull run will still continue. Bitcoin will go towards 200. Guys, I feel we will delay the process by that. I personally feel that we are getting into a macro reaccumulation phase. Like, imagine a huge triangle, a huge a huge triangle onto the price action itself, onto the $60,000 levels, and the bottom being, let's just say, $23,000 levels, right? And we'll be formulating our bases onto these price points, and then eventually get accumulated for the rest of this year and maybe some part of 2022 as well. And then we can talk about $300,000 Bitcoin coming down the line alongside 2023-24. Guys, this is what I personally feel now. I think there's a huge divide alongside a lot of crypto market players, but I'm going to be sticking on to my conviction. And whenever the fuck Bitcoin has given a 70% down move, guys, we have entered a consolidation and a bear phase. I'll be talking about that exact piece of price action in the next video, and I think that would be pretty informative. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like, go for that bell. You don't want to miss this time sensitive information, specifically for this asset right here. This is looking nice. The structure is completely fine on Celsius. Your stop loss is going to be not exactly a stop loss, guys. Your weekly candle closing below the $5.75 levels is going to be your ultimate market exit strategy for Celsius. Until then, holy crap, this is a beautiful looking trend, to be honest. This is crazy, right? Alright, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up right here. Let me know down in the comments whichever asset you're holding, what are your own price targets, and I'll be catching you all in the next video pretty soon. Bye for now.